So 2020 just came to a close, and every year on this channel, at the beginning of the new year, I have a little tradition that I do. We go through all of the animations from the previous year, and we rank them to see which one was the best one that I made. So we're going to be doing that today. I hope you all enjoy it. Happy 2021, and let's get started. I don't really have anything good to say about this one other than the lighting is pretty nice. Or at least it's decent. But it definitely could have been improved from the voice acting to the animation. So that's why it is at the lowest spot. So again, I don't really have many good things to say about this one other than the lighting is kind of decent. But you know, overall the animation could have been improved. The sound design could have been a lot better. Yeah, that's kind of all I have for this one. Overall, it just could have been improved. So there are multiple reasons why I put this one where it is, so I'm just going to quickly run through them. You know, the set design could have been improved drastically. The lighting isn't really up to par compared to anything released before it. And overall, the joke isn't really that funny. I don't really know why I made it. So overall, it just could have been improved. Could have been improved a lot overall. And so that's why I placed it where it is. So I'm gonna again quickly just breeze through this one. You know, the animation isn't really that good. The lighting is pretty nice, you know. Camera move is pretty well done, but you know, the joke again is not really that funny unless you were already aware of the meme going around at the time. And so if you weren't already aware of that and you just saw that, you'd kind of be a little confused. So that's why it's mostly there, you know. You kind of have to already know the meme to understand the joke. And if you don't, it doesn't really make sense. So that's why it's at number 27. Now, I will say that I do actually really like this one, but there are a few things, you know. The animation is a little choppy at points, but you know, it's still pretty good, you know. It gets the point across. But again, you know, there was just better stuff that I released throughout the year. You know, movements are a little slow. The joke, again, isn't that funny. Although I will give this animation props to it actually being my first ever THAC submission. So that was a big step for me, you know, actually entering an animation contest. I hadn't done that before. And so this was like a whole new thing. And so that's why I ranked it a little bit higher. But again, you know, there's just better stuff that was released after it. So there are multiple things I don't really like about this one, which is why I placed it where it is. You know, animation is kind of a little bit slow, though the set design is pretty good, and the lighting is pretty nice. But animation-wise, it's not, you know, the best, but it was like my first attempt at doing a fight scene, so it kind of makes sense. But also the dialogue and everything is crap. This was also the first animation where you actually got to choose the ending. It's the only animation so far, but I plan to do more like that. But overall, you know, I don't really like it that much. So that's why I placed it where it is, you know. It just could have been better with dialogue and animation-wise. So that's why it is where it is. So there is a few different reasons why I put this one here. The lighting is pretty nice, but the animation could be improved a lot. And just overall, you know, the camera doesn't really stick still. The sound design is pretty good. I was really proud of the sound design and still am. But just overall, you know, it could have been better. But it was fun to make. So yeah, but that's why it goes here. You know, it could have just been better. So this was the second update video that I actually made. So, you know, second attempt at it. Kinda well. Kinda good. There are a few complications with it though, it's kinda boring. Animation's pretty good though for the parts I animate a video. So those are pretty good. But only one of the animations actually teased in this video was released. That was Jared the janitor. The other two never happened. So that's one downside to the video. False expectations. And then, like, 3 of the things mentioned at the end have also been cancelled. Like, they're probably not happening. So that's just one, like, complication I have with the video. Overall, the animation's pretty good. Dialogue is okay. But overall, it could have just been better. Now, I don't really like this one because it kind of plays off a joke that barely anyone knows about it. It plays on the Spanish Inquisition joke. If you hadn't seen the Spanish Inquisition video, which barely anybody has, then you wouldn't understand the joke. And so that's why it doesn't really work, in my opinion. Also, the lighting is a little wonky. The animation could have been better. But overall, it's mostly because of the joke. So that's why it's placed here. Now, this one's mostly here because the joke is pretty difficult to understand. You would have to be really engrossed in memes at the time if you were to, like, kind of understand it even a bit. And the joke isn't even that funny. So overall, I mean, the green screen's pretty good, but it could have been better. Animation's pretty good though, but just overall, it's mostly because of the joke, you know. A little difficult to understand if you didn't already know it. So that's why it's here. I'm not gonna dock this one for using an overused joke because everybody knows what a rickroll is, and has probably been rickrolled before. So basically anybody is gonna understand this one. But I also just kind of find it funny. Animation is pretty good. I like the lighting, and so yeah, that's why I put it here. So I actually really do like this one. It's still one of my favorite animations from 2020, other than Meet the Imposter. But, you know, it just could have been improved from, you know, the overall animation, the walking cycles, the editing. That just all could have been better even for when it was released. The voice acting was pretty good, though. We even got Ed Bound, because this was technically his joke before I asked him if I could make it in animation, which is why he plays Batman. But, you know, overall, it just could have been better. There was better stuff released after it. So that's why it is where it is. Now, fun fact about this one, at the time of its release, it was actually filmed in May for a school project, and then I just, for some reason, never uploaded it. So, yeah, but for the time, you know, animation, pretty solid, actually. The lighting, I really like it. And it was made in like 2 days, so, yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. The voice acting could have definitely been improved. Sound design, maybe a little bit better. But overall, it's pretty good animation. I do like it. It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but I do enjoy it. It was fun to make. But yeah, it still could have been better. There was just better stuff released after it, and so that's why it goes here. Okay, so I mostly just find this one funny. Even though I did steal the joke from Flapjack Films, which he is credited in the description and pinned comment as I stole his joke. But overall, I do like the animation in this one. I tried out a bunch of new techniques, from filming on clay to laser effects. The voice acting is pretty good. Sound design is pretty good as well. Overall, I just like it. And though I did technically take the joke, it's not like a pre-established meme or anything, so it's easy for anyone to understand. It's just a pun. And so you know, the viewer can easily understand it. Hopefully. But I mostly just really like this one, and so that's why I put it here. So, fun thing about this one is that it was a school assignment. For Spanish class, we had to like research something about Spanish stuff, so I chose Spanish Inquisition because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Anyway, off topic. I do like this one. I find it quite funny. But you know, the animation, it could have been improved. But then again, it was my first time using stick bots, which I switched to click bots now, so I have more joints. But still, it was my first time using stick bots, you know, something different than Lego, and I really like it still. You know, I think it's pretty funny. Now, granted, it does build off of a already pre-established meme. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. You know, that stuff. But, you know, it still kind of works. Although, to get, like, the full funny effect, you do have to know the meme, which is kind of why I docked some points from it, you know. Or else I would rank it higher. But other than that, it's pretty good. I do like it, and that's why I put it here. So, here's the thing about Carl and Winston. For most of the shorts, I can't really think of a specific order that I would rank them in, though my personal favorite is Carl in Space. We'll ignore that right now. I can't think of a specific order that I would put them in. They're kind of all just clumped together because most of them were filmed on the same day. So there's not much of an animation difference. Though, I do like this series, this short-lived series. I don't know if it'll be returning anytime soon. You know, it's wholesome, the characters are neat, you know, the lighting is pretty nice throughout it, animation's pretty solid, and overall, it's just kind of a fun watch. There's no pre-established jokes that you have to already know to, like, enjoy it. You can just enjoy it. Granted, there is definitely better stuff that I've released, but I do like this series for mostly that reason. You can just turn on one of these little videos and you don't even have to know the characters, like, from previous installments of Carl and Winston, because they're always introduced at the beginning of each video. So you can kind of pick up anywhere and it just kind of works. It doesn't have to be too funny, but it's not too serious. It works as a nice wholesome series, you know? Also, I really like the Rickroll joke at the end of the 100 subscriber special one. That was funny. Really fun to make. But anyway, there just was better stuff later and before Carl and Winston. But it is overall a great little mini-series. I really liked it. I liked making it. I don't know if it'll be returning anytime soon because I can't think of any ideas for it. But I do like it, and that's why I put it here. So, this was again another interesting one to rank. I do like this one. You know, the animation is pretty good. I like the lighting. Very solid. It's an older one, but it's pretty good. It was the first ever channel trailer, for the animations channel at least, that I made. And I still really like it. I think it's a good introduction to, like, introduce new viewers to the channel and stuff. But overall, there was just better stuff made after it. But it's still a pretty good animation, in my opinion. So, that's why I put it here. So, this was, again, another interesting one to rank. I really like it. Fun fact, at the time of its release, it was, like, Exploring the Wild, filmed months before its actual release, but it took me a while to edit. It's still pretty good. I like the visuals, I like the action, movements are pretty smooth, you know, the animation is pretty good overall. And so, I really like it. I do have one gripe with it, it's a sequel. You know, I tend to rank sequels lower, but then you think about it, you don't really have to watch the original to understand what's going on. So it still kind of works as like its own standalone animation. I just really like it. I think it's great. It's a fun video. This is really fun to make. But again, there was still better stuff after it. So, yeah. That's why I put it here. Okay, so most of you probably don't even know what this one is. But which is fine if you don't. There's a link in the description to go watch it. I very much recommend you do. As this is one of my favorite animations from 2020. It's fun. It's got action. It's got pretty smooth animation. Very nice visuals. And I really like the voice acting. And it doesn't play on a predetermined joke. You don't have to watch another video before you watch this one for it to make sense. No, it's just its own thing. The only reason it's actually called Pizza Time is because they're fighting over pizza, and the Spider-Man PS2 pizza theme plays for like half the video. Which, I was surprised it didn't actually get me copyrighted for some reason, so I guess that's pretty good. But I really like this one. It was super fun to make. You know, the visuals, I was trying out so many different things in this video that I hadn't done before, you know, like slow motion, the laser effects and stuff. And overall, I just really like this one. And this still stands as one of my favorite animations from 2020. Which is why I rank it so high. Obviously, it is literally number 6 on the list. Especially for an early upload, it's really good, really well done. I really like it. I recommend you all go watch it. Link in description. It's a fun watch. So, yeah. Again, like Pizza Time, most of you probably don't know what this one is, which is fine. There's a link in the description for you to watch it. Now, I really like this one. I might be a little biased here because I just really like it so much. But there's so many good things about it. One, I started working on smooth surfaces instead of studs and stuff, which I think turned out pretty good here. For a first time doing that. The animation is pretty smooth, and you know, we can just see the different character dynamics. You know, the story's pretty good. The music choice at the end, I also like that. You know, the ending's pretty good, and overall, it's just a fun video. It doesn't play on anything older. Like, you don't have to watch an older video to understand what's going on. No, it's just a fun video. You jump right in. You get a fun little story of 2 astronauts becoming friends, and that's the video. Enjoy. But overall, I just really like this one. It was really fun to make. So, yeah. Here's a fun fact about this one. The guys at Superhot, like the people who made the original game, they actually saw this and commented on the video. So I think that's pretty cool. But there are a few other reasons why I like that. Not just that the guys who actually made the original game saw it. I think the animation is pretty good, and that bottle shot you just saw, I shot that 7 times. So, obviously, you know, I put more effort into this one, and I think it turned out really good. I like, you know, the animation, sound effects are pretty good, visuals are pretty nice. I really like the lighting, and the set design, you know, is pretty good. So overall, I just really like this one. I think it's great. Now, a lot of you are probably going to disagree with this placement, as for most of you, the only video you've actually seen by me is probably this one. The numbers don't lie. But hear me out while I explain why I put this one here. Now, I do owe this video a lot. You know, I got the views up. I'm getting monetized soon. You know, 13,000 subscribers. I owe the video a lot. But I do think I did make better quality videos after this one. Now, the animation is pretty good. I like the voice acting. My friend cameoed in it as Blue. You know, the animation's pretty good. I like the lighting. I'm working on studless floors again, which I think turned out even better than it did in Astro Buds, which, go figure, all the main characters are astronauts again. But anyway, I do think it turned out better than it did in Astro Buds, but I did do it even better later on, so that's why I'm ranking it a little bit lower. Although the sound effects, they're alright. I definitely did better sound effects too. Overall, I do like the video, and I owe it a lot. But I do think I did make better quality videos after this one. So you can think this one should deserve to go higher, but hear me out on the next 2 placements, and maybe you'll change your mind. Another school project. How many of these are there? There's 3 on this list. Anyway, I really like this one. Not only because it got me an A in math class, which it did, but also because it was really fun to make. I like the dialogue. The voice acting's pretty good. Animation is pretty smooth. I like the action. I just kind of like the video all in general. If I could, I would watch this all day. But obviously I have other things to do throughout the day, so I don't. But I think it's really good. You know, sound design, I think that's very well done. Especially when he hits the wall just then. Overall, I just think it's a fun video. It doesn't really build off of a joke, necessarily. It's just like a bad joke. Really bad joke that I saw in a meme one time. And that's about it. But you don't necessarily need to know that to find it entertaining. You don't have to find it specifically funny, but you can find it entertaining. But overall, it's just a fun video. It's not really built off of another video. You don't have to go watch an old one to understand it. I think that's what makes it great. So, yeah. It's not really much more I could say about this other than I just really like the animation and sound design and the lighting and stuff. So, yeah, and if you haven't seen this one, which most of you probably haven't, there's a link in the description for you to watch it. Again, most of you have probably not seen this one, but I do really like this one. This is my favorite animation of 2020. The animation is smooth, the voice acting is pretty decent, still getting better. I'm still working on it, obviously. You know, the sound effects are great. You know, I really like the sound design that I did. Even though it does kind of build off a meme, the Team Fortress 2 Meet the Spy promotion video, it still works. It's kind of funny, although it does help if you have seen the Meet the Spy video, you know? But it still works as its own standalone video, but it is better as a parody, you know, knowing that it's a parody. I do really like this one because, you know, I got a lot of enjoyment from making this. You know, all around, it was just a good time making it. From like the little tricks I did to actually filming it, to sound effects, to lighting. This was my first animation using LEDs. Definitely gonna be using those more often. You know, fight scene. That little fight scene you're seeing on screen right now, that was pretty good. I really like that. Camera movements, really nice. You know, the angles are pretty good, and the cut to the gameplay is just perfect. Character dialogue is on point. I really like this one. And I hope you all liked the video too, as well as all the other videos released in 2020. We had some pretty good ones. There will be a playlist linked in the description where you can find those, as well as each individual video linked at their timestamp of where they appear. But again, I really hope you like this video as well. Let me know what you think. Maybe even add your own little personal list of all the animations ranked in the comments section. I'm curious to see where you guys rank everything. But anyway, that is going to be it for me today. I just want to say a quick thank you for 12,000 subscribers. Well, it's basically 13,000 subscribers, but still. Just a huge thank you. You know, Among Us was so well received. This year was great for the channel, and I just wanted to say a big thank you for that. Farewell.